Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that is helping me a great deal. So, as you all know, like I'm kind of, coming back into my own after a pretty bad phase of, like just, I don't know, man, how to call it. Like, what do I call it? A pretty bad phase of losing myself, and a dark place. But what I've realized is that my self talk got very loathsome, it got very hateful. My self talk towards myself got very hateful, and then as I started reading a lot of literature on this, that how it affects even the smallest behaviors in ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves, I started to tweak it. I started to be kinder to myself through my self talk. And I mean, the whole neuro linguistic programming is kind of based on it. NLP is based on this, how you talk to yourself, and just the miraculous shifts that it can bring about in your life. So I started talking to myself like I would talk to the person that I most love, which in my case is my mom. How, have you noticed that when you talk rudely with the person that you love the most, or even the set of people that you love the most, that would include your closest friends, your siblings, you feel really bad, you feel very uncomfortable, and you kind of hate yourself. You feel like, why did I hurt somebody that I love so much? And you you go on this trip of like just hating yourself in that moment. So I kind of try to place myself as the person that I love the most. And I the how much care I take when I talk to people that I love the most in my family friend circle, and how careful and cautious I am when I'm talking to them, and sensitive I am when I'm talking to them. I started to apply that on myself, and it was hard. It's not like I instantly went from harsh self talk to like, oh, the kindest self talk ever. But with repetition and with practice, it has gotten better. And because there's always that battle of those two voices in your head, right? So there's that one voice which is constantly trying to blame you, constantly trying to pull you down, constantly trying to tell you all the things that you're not, and blame you, and just basically break your spirit. So then you have to develop that other voice. If it's missing in that phase of your life, you have to develop that other kinder voice in your head, which is going to be all about forgiveness, which is going to be all about acceptance of however you're trying your best in that moment, and that's enough. And that voice has to be your guard, it has to be your ally during that phase, and pat you on the back every now and again to at least trying your best. And this is something that has helped me, personally, just the way I have been able to change my self talk. And it's not like, oh, now I've changed it and now it's gonna remain amazing for the rest of my life. No, it's not like that. I mean, you have to constantly practice it. Anything new, I think, nothing actually for that matter is permanent, right? Like, even just, I mean, what can I say? Nothing is permanent, man. Like, and that includes the good traits also. For a lot of times I've realized that people tend to take their good traits for granted. They feel like this is who I am, so this is who I'll always be, and then there's no conscious effort to ensure that that trait is being built on, that trait is being honed. But it's very much like if you're a crooner, if you're a singer, and you just take it for granted that, oh, I just have natural talent in singing, and I don't need to do like my riyaz, or I don't need to practice I don't need to work with a vocal coach or any of that. So then I think even a good singer can over a period of time lose the range and the pitch perfection, right? Everything is practice, even if you're naturally gifted, I'm saying. And the singer was like one example, but generally, let's say you're somebody who is gifted in terms of your body structure. There are some people who have a naturally good body composition, right? but that doesn't mean that you can just ride on it, right? You have to still take care of it, and you have to make sure that you uh, keep it in check, that you maintain it, or you improve it better still. But for that, you need to be watchful of what you eat, you need to work out, you need to do all the things. So it's a constant effort, right? Like keeping something that you're even gifted with, and that can be anything. That can be communication skills. Now some people are just incredibly good communicators, they just have the gift of the gab, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't get around to getting better at it. And by that I mean that, so let's say you're a very good orator, you have a gift of the gab, but you don't have any reading habits, you're not you're not expanding on your vocabulary, you're not expanding on you're not perfecting diction, you're not perfecting enunciation. Then even if you're a gifted speaker, over a period of time, somebody who is maybe not as gifted as you but puts in more practice will get better than you. And that happens all the time in every industry, with respect to any skill, with respect to any natural talents that you may be gifted with. So it's very great to have like natural talents and be aware of them also, because otherwise you're going to go through life without even being aware of your gifts, and then that's another bad thing. To be like over modest is also not a good idea, because then what happens is, if you're not even aware of something, how are you going to make the most of it? Let's say you're not even aware of who you are, then you're not going to be able to make the most of it, right? And then you're not going to embody the confidence of a person who has those skills, projects. So being completely unaware is not a modesty. Let me just clarify that. Modesty is not tom-tomming and constantly, announcing what you are, because if you need to announce it so much, then there's definitely something in you that doesn't believe what you're saying. Like, I've never seen a high achiever, or like somebody who's extremely presentable, constantly harping on about it. That reeks of insecurity. So I'm not saying that you have to go on the other extreme of the spectrum, but I'm also not saying that you have to be completely like over modest or completely unaware, because then that has its own downside also. You obviously have to be aware of who you are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. It's part of knowing yourself better. So you have to know exactly who you are in the exact right measure, not overestimated, not underestimated. From a very objective standpoint, you have to know what you are, so that you're able to work on your weaknesses, and you're able to strengthen your strengths. You're able to add on to your strength. So having that exact measure comes with a lot of self-awareness and just self-awareness, because see, your friends are never gonna hurt you. And I mean, you're very blessed if you have friends who can kind of be honest with you and tell you to your face. Like, touch wood, I have friends who tell me to my face, like if they see something going wrong with me, they are the first ones to alert me. They are not looking at just they are not my yes men, they are my friends, and they're absolutely candid with me. But in case you don't have friends like that in your life, then your only filter, or your only measuring tool is your self-awareness. Right now, your self-awareness you can develop through so many things, through first of all, through whether or not you're somebody who is able to keep the promises they make to themselves. Are you somebody who keeps your word to yourself? So that gives you a lot of awareness of who you actually are. Just meditating and figuring out as you meditate more and more, there are layers of yourself that reveal themselves to you, and you figure like, what are my triggers, what are my thought patterns. Even journaling helps in that. Maintaining a diary helps in that, and figuring what your thought patterns are, and that helps in finding what your triggers are. What are your loopholes, and then that when you consistently track, I think that leads you to a better sense of self-awareness, and from there you can work on rectifying your shortcomings. Or if you realize that, oh, this is good about me, like I think this thought so many times in a day, and this is like something that at my core level I believe about myself, and it's a positive thing, then that is something that will reveal itself in your diary writing and in your meditations, and then you can build on that, your positive traits. um, when you do these things, keeping your word to yourself, maintaining a diary, meditating, what happens is that you get to know more and more about yourself, and the more you know about yourself, the better you can, I believe, sculpt your mind and your body, everything. It all starts with self-awareness. Seen a lot of people be completely out of sync with self-awareness. Either they'll have a very grandiose idea of themselves, which is overestimating yourself completely, which has terrible uh, I mean, that's delusional. That's not really very healthy. Or they'll have like extreme lack of, they'll be completely out of sync with who they are altogether for, whatever reasons. So then that also needs to be rectified, because then you're not gonna ever realize your full potential. So yeah, this was my thing, that today's topic was basically how you can measure, how you can track growth, how you can measure your triggers, how you can measure your degree of self-awareness, and how you can go about having a very healthy self-talk, which is extremely important. Your self-talk will determine a lot of how your life pans out, and naturally your actions, right? Like no amount of self-talk is also going to help you if your actions are completely contradicting everything that you tell yourself. So action is at the core of it, I believe. And I strongly believe that, like one action versus 1,000 thoughts, or maybe more. That's my core belief. So yeah, I and yeah, while I'm at it, I just wanted to say that it's so difficult for me to do this whole routine of wearing even the most minimal makeup. Like right now, I'm hardly wearing any makeup, but even that takes so much effort, because in the last 1 year, I got out of the practice of wearing makeup completely, which was something that I used to enjoy so much at one point in time until just last year. And now I'm kind of getting back to it. My only motivation is, okay, if I wear makeup, if I look presentable, then I can shoot a YouTube video, I can make some reels, and obviously I can keep a track also of how my face is changing, because like I said, I'm tracking my entire growth on my social handles, so that a few months down the line I can come back and see the stages through which I've evolved. So yeah, I hope today's video has helped you, and if it has, please do share it with somebody, or leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you on the next episode. Bye.